Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to make a sun catcher using our SoftFlex design kit, just Peachy. Now, they gave us some wires, so we're going to use this, and we have a whole bunch of flowers, glass flowers, and butterflies that we're going to use. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. First of all, I have this hunk of 12 gauge. Now this was the last of a roll, so I've just sort of formed it like this, but what we need to do now is take our bell making pliers and we're going to wrap a loop on either end here. Now this is 12 gauge, so it's not easy to maneuver. It's going to try and snap out of your pliers. So I'm just going to get it relatively good. It is, when you work with it like this, you see it does mar the finish up. So we want to be as careful as we can. So there's the two loops for the ends. Now what I'm going to do is to for hanging this, I'm going to hook some heavier chain and probably a split ring there. But what I want to do here is trying to get this sort of even, but we want it sort of flat across the top too. So what I'm doing, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the craft wire. We're going to make 3 or 4 loops along either side, and then we're going to do the same down here. We're just going to wrap and then make a loop every once in a while so that we have loops to hang our chain from. And then we're going to take the chain and we're going to hang it from these loops in various lengths, and then from each of the upper ones we're going to hang a little butterfly, and from each of the bottom ones we're going to hang a flower leaf combo. We're also going to have one of these little ball spacers in the middle here. So that'll look like so. And they're going to be all varying lengths. I haven't chosen what length I want them to be yet. I'll probably just take and cut some hunks. No particular length in mind. I don't want it to go so low that it hits the wire here, but I probably want one at least relatively long one. And remember, when you cut this, we're going to have a loop as well as a jump ring up there. So probably as long as I would want it would be about right here. So let's cut a few lengths. So this is my long one for up top, and I might want one of similar length for the other side. But I'm just going to cut a few pieces. They don't have to be the same. They don't have to be of any great length. They can be short. They can be long. I just need 8 for the top and 8 for the bottom. There's 4, 5, 6, oop, got some chain hunk underneath my nail, and that's a little long. How about right here? 7. So there's top pieces. So as I say, what we're going to do is just take and wrap these guys up. Now I'm going to put a ball spacer at the top of these because with the way the wings go, it's going to make it sort of difficult to wrap this. So to make it easier, we're just going to put that ball spacer up there, and it'll make it a lot easier to wrap. So as I say, we're just going to go in here like so, up and around and over, bring her down, bring her around. I'm going to leave a slight gap because we're going to put the chain on this. So just grab whichever chain you feel the need for, slide it on, and then we're going to wrap it up. And we're going to do that with every one of the butterflies. Now we can do this right now, or we can, before we wire wrap the chain, the loops in, or we can do it in sections whenever we feel like it. So there is, where's that ending piece there? Right here, come here. And just tuck that in. So see, here's one butterfly done. Nope, my tuck didn't go real tight there. We need to get that going better. There we go. And then it's going to hang, like I said, from one of the loops. One of the loops is going to just be this big one right here. So that's what we'll do with those. Then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom with the flower pieces. We got to cut some chain for that as well. But then we'll have the leaf. Now the leaf was not from the kit, just the butterflies and the flowers. I put the leaves in because I thought it needed a little leaf action in there. Come on, where's your hole? There it is. I was going to say, I know I saw it. Where's it at? Now I'm going to bend this, but I'm not going to wrap it up yet because I do need to cut the chains for the bottom. And we could do that for all of them, wrap them up right now, or just wait until we get, or feed them onto their respective little wires, or we can wait till we have our chains cut. But I think I am just going to put them all onto their wires at least, and then we can, if we want, we can do up the butterflies since I do have the chain cut for that side. Or we can cut all the chain and get to it. It doesn't matter which thing you do first. You just need to do the steps. You can do your wire wraps first, or you can do your beads first, however you choose to go about it. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this is this first, like so, is that it takes these pieces off the deck, so to speak, and they're not quite as much in the way. Those look pretty together, don't they? Now, when I wrap the wire up, I'm not going to put these on the chains in. I'll use jump rings to do that. I like this bead. I think it's very pretty. This pink one, pinkish purple color. Now I'm probably going to have extra of the green because I think there was 10 in the package and only 8 flowers. So now that I've got all of these on their wires and stuff, I am going to take a little break, and we're going to put the excess stuff away that we don't need, like the ball spacers and such. The next step is we can either put these on, all of these little guys on chains, and cut the chain for the flowers at the bottom, get those on chain too, then set those things aside until we get our wrapping done. And I think that's what we're going to do because, well, we need those things done, and we'll just do it right now. Put this aside, and we'll just put our chain and our flowers over here on this side for right now, and we'll work on wrapping up our butterflies. So, simple matter. Just go in, up and around and over, bring her down, bring her around, leave a small gap so that you can get your chain in. And I'm just going to wrap them all like that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What'd we do with number 8 after we wrapped it up? It's got to be around here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there we go. So all of these I'm just going to do this with. Just bring it up and around and over, leave it a gap, and lollipop it. And then when we go from, after we get this done, we'll put the chains in, which will be very simple. All you got to do is, oops, don't lose it here, Rose. Is slide the chain into the loop and then wrap it up. And you don't, it doesn't matter which chain we grab. We have no preferences. It's just, you know, we just want to have chains to hang them from our piece there. Now we can do this step with the flowers as well, but we cannot hook them to the chain yet because we haven't cut our chains yet. So I am going to just do the wrap part here on our flowers, and then we will get we'll get the other part later. So up and around and over, bring it down and over and make our lollipop shape. So we'll do that with all 8. So there's our flowers and leaves all wrapped up, and our butterflies. So we're going to pull our butterflies and our chains forward, and we will push these to the back until I cut the chains for those. But the next step is, of course, that we are going to grab any butterfly, any chain, and just put the chain up here onto the butterfly, hold it in place right here against where the wires come together, and wrap it up. Now this wire is probably lightweight enough I could probably do it with my fingers instead of bothering with the second pair of pliers, but I tend to find I have a lot more stability if I'm using a second plier. So tuck that baby in. So there's number 2. And we'll just keep on doing this right down the line. Grab a hunk of chain, slide it on, grab where they come together, and wrap it up. So we'll just do that till we have all 8 wrapped up. Okay, now that we have all the butterflies all chained up, let's put them aside and we'll cut some chain for our flowers. Now this can be longer if we want, because let's face it, it's not going inside anything. It's hanging down below. So we'll get a couple of relatively good size ones and some short ones and whatever we feel like cutting. Like I said, they don't have to be of any particular length. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we can put our chain away because we aren't going to need it anymore. And get all these little crumbs up. Now it's time to wrap up the flowers. And we're going to do the flowers exactly the same way as we did the butterflies. Just grab a chain, grab one of the flower pieces, come on you, it didn't want to stay on, so there we go. Now this, you have less wrapping space because, you know, you've got more pieces on here. So just be aware of that when you start to wrap. And this one went down a ways, so I'm going to push it up some. We'll probably not need to cut any wire off of these, I wouldn't think. I think we'll just probably just tuck everything in. And as you can see, it's starting to bend on me a little bit, and that's all right. I can straighten it up. I know how. So there's our first flower piece done. So now we'll just do these flowers just the same way, every one of them. Just grab a chain, grab a flower piece, slide it on, bring it through, hold, and wrap that little bit of wire all the way around our base wire here. And like I say, there's probably just enough wire that we won't need to, we can tuck it in without having to cut anything. And I just pushed that wrong, so I I bent my wire, but that's all right. We can straighten that up just like that. So there's number 2. So now we're just going to keep going with these until we get this done. Okay, now that we have all the flowers and the butterflies done up, the next step is to make the base for them to flutter around on. So like I say, this is going to be our base. And what we're going to do is, like I say, the flowers are going to hang down here from the bottom. However I grab them and put them on. And there's going to be the 8 of those down there. They're probably going to end up being a little closer together than this because, well, let's push you up some. Because we're just going to have them across the bottom here. Got to make sure we get some longs in both sides and some shorts in both sides. This one is the only one of this purple, so we'll get it closer to the middle here. So we'll be sort of like so with our flowers, but they're going to hang down, of course, in different lengths. I've just, because their chains up here. And then, of course, the butterflies will be the same way with them hanging 4 to a side. This is one of my longer ones, so we'll want it over, probably over here. Maybe even where the blue one is here. Well, actually, we'll put this pink one over here because, well, those two are about the same length. But I don't want the white ones to sit side by side, so maybe we'll bring the blue one over here and the white and pink over here. So anyway, we'll decide as we go along. We may even shorten some of the chains up if we decide to, because of how I want them to be dropping in different lengths. So let's put our flowers and our butterflies aside. There's the butterflies, there's the flowers. And we'll get our hoop that we made out. And then I've got this little mandrel. Now, why I've got this is because when we go around, when we want to make our loop, you can do it by hand if you feel capable of doing it, but I tend to, well, that just unspun. Surprise, surprise. I tend to like to put something in to make sure that I have a good sized loop. So I'm just going to cut a length like this, probably about this long. Come on, hook, go back on there. Wow, that's stiff. So then we'll cut this piece off. And I'm going to start on one of the ends. And we're just going to do like 3 small wraps so that we've got it stabilized here. 1, 2, and now if I go off screen, I'm sorry. When I'm working with wire, it's not always easy to stay in screen where you want to. Now this is where I'm going to put my first loop, because this is the first one. This is going to be our second, so I'm just going to put my mandrel in here, and we're going to go around it like so. Go to the other side, since we started on this side. So it doesn't have to be a huge loop. I could actually probably make it smaller than that. See how I've got that loop there? So we can go over and bring it into place there. Then we're going to want to wrap a stabilizing wrap. Come down one, and then wrap again. And we'll put in number 2 and go around there again like so, but we have to go down below because we're starting at the top. If we do it up above, then we aren't going to get a very good sturdy loop there. So then here is our fourth one over here on this side. Oops, come on you. This one is a little bit wide. There we go. That's better. And we're sliding over here. We don't want to do that, so we're going to bring it back over here. Bring this, but put this in again. Go around it. Go down over here. And now I've let it go too tight. There we go. And then there. And then we'll do 3 wraps here. And 3. So there's our 3 loops that we're going to hook onto with our butterfly. And if you wanted to make sure this stayed a little bit more stably up here at the top, you can always open your loop up a little bit and bring your end inside the loop. Then close it back up again so that that wire is on this side of our loop right here and stabilized a little bit right there. Now this one is going to need to have a bigger jump ring than the others because we're going over this big wire as opposed to the smaller wires here. But we can cut this off, and I might even still have enough to do the other side. Let's find out. So we'll cut this off right here. And I'm going to take my plier and bring it up tightly. Now I'm going to get my, and we'll do the same on over here. Now I'm going to get my nylon jaw pliers, and we're going to squish those wires down a little bit, making them stay hopefully in place a little better. There we go. So there is the one side. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. And actually I'm going to start it by going through this loop. Might as well make it life a little easier on myself by not having to open that up. So come down and around, go over here, come on baby, go over here. Now I'm wrapping from right to left right now, and I usually don't, so I usually wrap from left to right. So now we'll put this guy in, just like we did before. Hold it in place while we go around to the other side and do a wrap there. And then we'll go over, and I may have just enough wire. I'm hoping I do. See, I've got 2 here, so we'll 1, 2, and the third one is the, okay. So we go in here again, hold it in place, bring her over and around, bring her down. Ooh, I'm gonna not have enough wire. Nope, I'm gonna be just shy. So we have a choice here. Since I'm shy of wire, I can just add just a touch of wire right here, since we've got loops going anyway, or I can cut it loose and start over. I think we may just bring this up and just get a touch more wire. We only need like maybe an inch or two. So where's my end here? There it is. Though the end looks a little rough here. I think it may be the other end that I grabbed. That's all right. Just gonna cut it right here. Not going to bother to hook it up. We're going to need it in a second again anyway. So then we'll take this, see the way we're going, and we're going to wrap up. Nope, we want to go this direction. Come on, grab them together here, bring her over. Now this is where the last one should go, but I think I've got it going the wrong way. It should be coming from the top. Come on. There we go. Now we'll put our mandrel in here. Do this last one, push it together, and I think I've made it a little bigger, too big, so we will pull it back out a bit so I can loosen that up or change it a little bit. There we go. I think that's better than round. Now, because this is trying to move itself, we're going to have to try and stabilize that a little bit over here. But we'll get to that in just a second. Here is our finished wires pieces. This one's a little different, so, and this one is a little bit thinner, so I'm gonna move them together. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and take these two wires, since one is coming up, one's going down. This one's a little loose, so I'm going to take hold of it with my pliers and tighten it and bring it over. Now this one will come this direction. Then we'll push them together here and trim them off. You up closer to your buddy there. Okay, now we're going to tuck these in. Now, when I'm making a circlet or something that is going to be close to your skin, I try to get these excess wires pretty closely tucked in. They don't need to be as closely tucked in on this because it's going to be it's going to be a sun catcher. It's not going to be on your skin. Okay. So now we have our 3, well technically 4, because we've got our big loop there for the top. Now we need to do the 8 along the bottom. Now normally I'd like an uneven amount, but I think this will work fine. So we got to get some wire out. And now we can probably put our cap back on here. So for this, because I'm going to be doing 8, I'm going to start approximately in the middle. And I'm going to wrap 1, 2 going this direction, and 1, 2 going this direction before I start putting in my loops. So we just take and do like we did up above. Come on, you, over here. And we want to get it relatively tight on that spindle there. And then balance, and then 1, 2, come back around, and here is our next one. One, 2, and this one needs to come over here a little bit. 3, and these will need some adjusting once I get them all done, but that's all right. We can do that. Now see, that one came from top and went to top. It shouldn't have done that. So we're going to go backwards because we got that wrapped wrong. This should have been here, and this should have gone down below. And then 1, 2, and 3 is where our next one goes. So here, put our mandrel in, go around, go under, go up, 1, 2, 3, and here's number 4. Go around, go under the wire, go up, get her tight, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 3 wraps. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's those. They're going to have to turn this direction, of course, when we get to putting things in place, and I'll have to make some adjustments probably as far as where they're at and side to side and all that wonderful fun stuff. This one looks like it's a little smaller than the others, so let's get it to be a little bigger. There we go. Now we're going to go and we're going to start the other side. And so we're going to do exactly the same thing, except for this one is the under wire. So now we're going to go and go up and over. And now we go 1, whoops, what are we catching on? 2, and 3. This is the under wire. It goes, come on, I've got you on the wrong side. Okay, So right here, come around. Now, like I said, I'm working the opposite direction as I usually work, so it's giving me a few problems, but that's all right. We can work with it. 1, 2, 3, and our next wire. And it's coming from this direction and going over. So 1, 2, 3, next wire up, and you are way twisted there. I'm going to have to fix that some. Here's our mandrel. Hold it up and over. Go over 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th one, the 8th one, I believe. So let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is. So now we've got to do our 3 wraps on this side. 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll cut this wire. Yeah, this is the side over here. Go over this way, and you go over this way. Okay. Now, once I've got these in, we'll cut these wires. Tuck them in. Now we're going to adjust these to side to side. They look pretty good as far as where they're at, as far as the middle and things are concerned. Now you need to go this way a little bit because this is the middle, and the middle should be right here. So we'll bring this over this way some, and this over this way a little bit, and I think we're pretty good. So this little slot right here needs to be a little bigger, so we're going to this one could have been a little smaller, but that's all right. So there's our loops. Oop, here's another one of those ones that looks like it's too small. Okay. Now we just need to get out our jump rings, but first we'll take our and go down the line, squishing it into place better now that we've got it about where we want it. And I'm going to do that again up here, especially since there's that one that has got that separation in it. So now we have our loops and our base wire done here. I've put some jump rings out. The big ones here go over these on this side, and then we'll have these on either side, and then ones across the bottom. So this is just a matter of just grab one and put it in place. I don't want this long one in the very beginning, so we will put it in like 1 or 2, spot number 1 or 2. And if as we go along we decide they might be too long, we can always cut them off. So let's see how long this one's going to end up being. If I put it right here, it'll be about that long. That's fine. So we'll grab our chain and put it in this loop right here. Oops, I'm not supposed to drop it. come on, you. Close her up. Now I got this jump ring open quite a bit more than I expected, so I am twisting it back and forth with forward motion until I feel it scrape against its buddy. So there is our first butterfly in. Nope, this is one of the longer ones. He needs to go over here somewhere. I think we'll use this little clear one here for right here. So we need the bigger jump ring because this is a very large wire and we don't want to use something that's not going to let it give it any movement. So we're going to put that over here. Well, for some reason these jump rings want to open them up a little extra. Maybe me, I don't know. So there's number 2. Take one of these little pink ones over here. And these 2 have to go over on the other side. Though they're both short wires. So let's see what we got for longer ones here. Okay. I think you're going to go in the middle here and this one right here. Or are we? I don't want them to bump into each other so much. Let's see how we're going to do this here. You can go here. Are you shorter? Because I want this one just a little bit shorter, I'm going to cut a couple of the links off. And that's what I meant when I said, well, we can shorten them if we need to. There's that side's going to be done like that. Then let's see about you. Do you need to shorten up too? Actually, I'm going to put the green one over here, I think. Not sure I want both the white ones really close to each other like that, but that's all right. We can, it'll be fine. So now we'll just put all of these in place. So now the butterflies are all in place. It's time to work on the flowers, and we'll do those exactly the same way. We're just going to grab one, whichever, as long as I don't have like the two yellows right beside each other or something like that. We did decide to put this purple one in the middle, somewhere in the middle here in one of these 2-4 spots. So we will, since it's entirely different than its buddies, so we'll grab it and put it in one of the 4 spots. There's number 1. I'm going to move this to over here so it's a little bit easier to work with. Now let's see, we got a pink for either side. That's a yellow. This is sort of green. It's a pale pink, a clear, and another yellow. So how about we put I'm going to shorten this pink one here up a few links. There we go. Now I just need to put them all on just as I have them laying out here. So we'll just grab one and go right down the line. Da, 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 da. So pretty. Now we just have one more step. Come on, you up there. And that step is to get some heavier chain, and I'll probably use a split ring to put the hanger on. I've got a split ring and I've got some heavier chain. Now I don't need very much because it's just going to go up here like so. So I'm just going to cut it right here. Put the wire aside. Then I'm probably going to just cut this in half because with a split ring I'm just going to hook it both sides onto the split ring, but I don't want to do it as a loop because then it will it may decide it wants to sit crookedly. So I'm going to find my awl. There we go. This poor awl is sort of beat up. I use it for all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna hang it like this, and then we'll cut off this very bottom loop here. Okay. So now the easiest thing to do is to put it on the split ring first and then hook it onto our ring up here at the top. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get my split ring pliers out. There they are. I'm going to open my split ring. Just split ring pliers have this little divot right here. Just put the big piece under your split ring and then push that through your split ring. Then we're just going to feed our chain, both pieces on here at once. And just slide it around. Now you can take your split ring pliers out now if you want to and just slide it by hand, or you can just do what I'm doing right here and just let it go around and come up. Come on, there we go. So now all I'm going to do now is take these two bigger jump rings and hook them up there. So we'll bring this around like so it's easier to work with. Open one of these up. Go through the chain piece and then through our... Now make sure your bigger one for your butterfly is going below this one. You don't want it to be above it. So there is one side hooked up. Now I just got to do the same with the other side. So we'll open this baby up. Go through here, like I said, making sure that ring stays down here. Now I'm going to push this up with my finger here while I bring this up and go through my jump ring. Now you can hold it if it feels with your pliers, if it feels more comfortable doing that to you. Oh, would you sit there? There we go. Now close this up. Now I did it this way because I didn't want my chains to become crooked to each other. They should be straight since I did them at the same time, did them like that. So there she is, all finished. Uh-oh, this chain is twisted. That's not good. See how that chain twisted on me there? So we are going to have to take that jump ring off and untwist the chain. Oh, come on, you. Yeah, you're all finished, so you don't want to come apart now, but you have to because your chain is crooked. See, it's got this little wowie right here in it. We don't want that. So we'll open this jump ring up just enough to take the chain out. Then we're going to take a chain and we're going to make sure it's sitting down straight now. Slide it on, back on, and close it up. And she didn't want to close all the way. There we go. Don't drop it, Rose. So are we straight now? Oh, looks like there's still maybe a little bit of a wowie in there. Not bad. I think we can live with it. So, oops, our blue one is twisted here. There we go. It's all finished. There's our little sun catcher. Now normally when I make a sun catcher I put crystals on it because I like to make rainbows, but This one just didn't pertain to that. It didn't work that way. So let's turn it up, and I'll hold it up so you can see it better, since of course they're falling off the edge of the screen down here. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? See the little butterflies fluttering up top and our little flowers down below. I think it turned out pretty fun. I hope you enjoyed it, making this with me. I like it. I think it turned out really, really cute. Like I say, normally when I do a sun catcher, I put some kind of crystals in it so it makes rainbows, but I just don't think this one needed a crystal, unless I decide to cross over here with some chain and drop a crystal right down here in the middle. But I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think so. I don't think it needs it. Anyway, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and all of these little pretty flowers and butterflies came out of my SoftFlex Company's TGBE design kit, Just Peachy. Aren't those cute? Now, you know that if you don't have this like leaning against the glass, if it's hanging somewhere, you know, in the middle of a room or off of a cabinet or whatever, this will flutter in the wind. So there we go. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. Again, this is from the SoftFlex design kit, Just Peachy. And I hope you enjoyed making this with me. I know I think it turned out really cute. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.